Today's episode of Grammar Geezers touches upon an important, if underused, way to make complex sentences, the semicolon.
So let's talk about sentences just a little bit more. We're using really short examples here, right?
Yes, but they work in compound and complex sentences.
Yeah. So let's maybe
rules.
get into that. There's three ways that you taught me and the classes at Michigan back in the day. There's multiple ways, but there's three main ways to turn these little sentences and also these nonsensical sentences after I hit the ball, where you're being left hanging, into an actual sentence that's useful. And so one is make it into two sentences. We'll come back to all these. Two is the semicolon. And then the third escapes me, but I'm going to look at my notes.
It's the
coordinating conjunctions.
Yeah.
Yeah, coordinating conjunctions. This is pretty heavy-duty grammar.
And no, it's not really. And to coordinate means to balance or to make things equal. Coordination means equal. So when you have coordinating conjunctions, simply put, and there are only 7 of them, the really mnemonic device for, that's a stupid word, the easy device for remembering them are the word called fanboys. And the 7 coordinating conjunctions are and, or, nor, for, but, yet, or so. That's it, period. That's it. So the easy way, there's 3 ways you can say, John ran to first base, period. He hit the ball, period. And let's reverse that.
Let's do it. Yeah, because if you run to first base before you hit the ball, probably the umpire is going to have something to say about that.
Well, you'd also be a very inept baseball player. Anyway, so you just say, I hit the ball, period. I ran to first base, period. Then you could do the second example is the semicolon. I hit the ball, semicolon. I ran to first base. And also think about the semicolon as an equal sign. You connect grammatically equal. Sentence equals sentence, clause or phrase equals clause or phrase. Think of the semicolon as a grammatical equivalent of an equal sign. What's on one side has to be on. If you've got a clause or phrase on one side, you've got a clause or phrase on the other. And note this, because Todd actually made a mistake in his notes to me yesterday, and I was ashamed of him to go retroactively lower his grade. He actually capitalized that word, even though it was an independent clause, after the semicolon. The only time you capitalize a word after the semicolon is if it is a proper noun, like I, or
that makes sense.
Madison, Wisconsin, or something like that.
And again, when you say equal sign, equal on each half of the sentence, or you can string them together, because one of the examples we talked about was the Martin Luther King Jr.'s letter from Birmingham jail.
Wonderful.
Was it 500? I think it's 527 words in that sentence, which for reference, that's pretty close to it. A lot of newspaper articles are that long.
Letter from a Birmingham jail.
Yeah.
When he connects them all with when, semicolon, when, semicolon, when, semicolon, when, semicolon. These are all equal grammatical clauses.
And the same verb tense all the way through, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it was all present tense. In that case, you could do past, whatever. But you don't want to mix tenses, and you want those pieces, be it halves, thirds, or in King's case, maybe an 11 or 12. I can't remember. I don't recommend, by the way, writing sentences that are 527 words long unless you have a holiday named after you. In that case, you get a pass.
Okay, that was a brief look at semicolons as a way to make complex sentences. Don't fear the semicolon. Next up, coordinated conjunctions, otherwise known as fanboys.